YouTube, I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check out Downforce from Restoration Games. This is for 2 to 6 players, age is 14 plus, it'll take about 30 to 45 minutes to play. Restoration Games is a company that is all about taking very old games, I believe this one's from the 1970s, redoing those games and bringing them back to a modern audience. So they're bringing back Wolfgang Kramer's Downforce, which is a racing game in which you are going to purchase vehicles, you're going to race those said vehicles, but also you're going to be betting a la Camel Up on which vehicles you actually think are going to be winning the game. And then you're going to be playing down cards to move all those vehicles. Not just your vehicles, but everybody's vehicles. It's an interesting game, but is it a good one? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Downforce. So first and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule booklet, 7 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. It's very well done. Huge thumbs up on the rule booklet. Also, a bunch of alternate ways to play back here, which is always a nice thing. So, in Downforce, you are going to be purchasing at least one of these cars down here, and you are going to be racing all of the cars around the board. At the end of the game, you are going to get money based on what place your car came in. So for instance, if your car came in first place, you'll get 12 million, 9 million, 6 million, so on and so forth. But also along the way, you have to be realistic, you're going to be betting on which car you think is going to win the game. So you'll be able to bet once on this yellow line, once on that yellow line, and once on this yellow line, who you think is going to win the game, and then you will get various different payouts based on who actually wins the game. You'll tally all that up, and whoever has the most money will win the game. So let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So first we got our big board here. It's a big racetrack. I'll also show you the other half because this is a double-sided board, and both the boards are different. Like the one on the back has a lot more choke points and whatnot, but I'll show you that a little bit later. You're going to set out all your little race cars right here. These are nice, really cool, aesthetically looking race cars. You're going to set them in these 6 spots right here. Each player is going to get one of these little pads here, which I'll be coming to periodically to tell you how everything works. And then you're going to shuffle up these cards right here, and you're going to deal them out equally to all the players. So let's take a look at these cards right here. So these cards are going to be used in the auction phase when you're purchasing vehicles, and also, more importantly, when you are moving cars. So this is going to tell you how much of each car you'd move. So you played this car, you're going to move the blue car 6 times, orange car 4 times, green car 2 times, and red car 1 times. There's also some that have wild on here, and you can move any color you would like with those, as long as that color is not already on the card, but I'm not going to get into some specific rules right now. Let's get down to the auction phase. So during the auction phase, what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle up these 2 decks of cards, the power and the speed cards, and then you're going to flip over, boom, them like this. So now what's going to happen is there is an auction, and you right now are bidding for the yellow car, and also this special ability, which is the strategic. And each character is going to have one and only one. So even if you get 2 cars, you don't get 2 special abilities. So you have aggressive, you play a card with your car at the top of the card, you may move the card 1 additional space. Unpredictable, when you play a card with a wild on it, you may use that wild for a color that is already on the card, which breaks the rule of the game. Tricky, on your turn, you may move the cards in reverse order from lowest to highest. Each and every one of them is going to give you a unique way that you will be able to break the rules of the game. So right now, I'm bidding on a tricky character, and I'm also going to have the yellow card here. How you bid on these is really simple. You're going to look at your hand of speed cards we talked about a little bit about earlier, and you're going to play a card down. So for instance, if I played this card down, that would mean I'm bidding $5 million on the yellow card. If I played this card down, I'm bluffing. I'm not actually going to bid anything because yellow's not on here. If I played this one, $6 million, you get the idea. So you're going to be bidding on those cars with millions of dollars. So let's just say I bid $6 million on this one, and I end up winning it. Nobody else bid more than, say, 3 or 4. I'm going to put all of these in front of me. This is now my vehicle. This is now my special ability, unless I win another vehicle. And I'm going to mark on this little pad right here next to the yellow card that I spent $6 million, because I will have to pay that money back later at the end of the game. So you're going to continue to do this until everybody has a vehicle, until all the vehicles have been auctioned off. You have to have at least 1 vehicle, but if you're playing with smaller player counts, you can have more than 1 vehicle. So once you've done all this, you're going to be ready to start racing. So whoever is on this spot, which is the one spot right here, is going to start off. So let's go ahead and start the race. So how this works is I'm going to play one of the cards out of my hand, and then from the top to the bottom, I have to move those vehicles, and I get to choose how I move them. So for instance, if I played this card, I would start off by moving the blue car 6. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, I would move the orange car 4. So I might go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd move the green car 2, which would have me going 1, 2. And then I would move the red card 1, so I would go right there. And then this card is discarded. It is completely out of the game. Now, you were able to completely move those vehicles however you see fit. So you can even get kind of dirty, for instance. So how this works is, let's just say I had to move the orange 4 spaces, and I really did not want to help orange out. I could go 1, 2, and now the orange can't move anywhere because you can't go sideways. You always have to be going forward in one manner or the other. And that's really the crux of the game, is trying to screw over other people who you don't want to help, and then helping the people, obviously you, that you're bidding on or your car. Now, eventually, though, one of the vehicles is going to pass this yellow line here. Once that happens, everyone's going to stop after that turn, and they are going to mark on their little score pad who they think is going to win the game. So you're only going to mark one of the people. So for instance, this game, I marked that I thought green was going to win the game. Now, if I'm right at the end, I'll get 9 million for first place, 6 million for second place, and 3 million for third place. And then once again, when you get past this yellow line, you're going to do the same. And this yellow line, you're going to do the same. Eventually, what will happen is everyone will cross the finish line. Once everyone crosses the finish line, you are going to get the amount of money that you get for first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place, the amount of money you'll get for betting all the 3 times during the game, and then you're going to subtract how much you spent at the auction for your vehicles. Whoever has the most money will be the winner of Downforce. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. But let's flip this board over so I can show you the other, in my opinion, more beautiful side of the board. Oh, look at those lovely boats and the yachts. So this one's got some really tight turns on here. Look at that. You got the 1 spots going on, the 1 spots here. And the races do actually feel pretty different, which is very, very nice. And I imagine they're ripe for potential expansions in the future. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to get inside of Downforce. Alrighty then, Downforce from Restoration Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, it's 2 to 6 players, but I liked it best at the higher player counts. In particular, some of the middle player counts were a little bit wonky, especially when someone would have more vehicles than someone else. It just felt like that was, I don't know, I felt like it gave them a little bit more power. Yes, they had to spend more money at the auction for those vehicles, but still I felt like that gave them a slight leg up in the game. I felt like the highest player counts, or the even player counts, where everybody had the same number of vehicles, was the best way to play the game. Also, I wasn't the biggest fan of it at 2 players. I just liked it best with higher players and everybody messing with different people. Another comment I have with this game is that I wish there were more special abilities, more powers. So they have 6 in the game, which is enough for everybody to have 1 in a 6-player game, but I really wish there would have been 12 or 18, and hopefully in the future they'll release more, because those special abilities are really stinking cool, and I like them a lot. Now, that being said, I didn't feel like all of them were the best balance. Like, some just felt like they were better than others. For instance, the one where if you go in all rectangular shapes, then you get to go an extra 2 spaces. That can be freaking huge, especially if you got a lot of straightaways in there. Some of them just felt slightly better than others. Now, that being said, it didn't feel like there were some that were just completely overpowered, where it's like, I'm going to pick that one and I'm going to win because I picked that one. But still, you might wish they were a little bit more balanced. Granted, take that with a grain of salt, because this is a family game, which is another con that I have with this game. This is a very light, simple, family weight game. When you first start off the game, and you see those special abilities, and you see this auction, you're like, whoa, there's more meat to this bones. And then you'll get to the racing part, and you'll be like, oh no, this is pretty light. So yeah, you need to go into this knowing that this is a family weight game. But that being said, it's not just for families. And I'll tell you more about that in the pros. Any other cons that I have with the game? Oh, this game is mean. It is a mean, stinking game. And there is one big con that I have with this game. If your vehicle gets into certain positions in certain points of the game, you're just hosed. Like, you're just not going to win the game. And each game that I've played of this, there have been cars that have been so far ahead or so far behind that it's like, oh yeah, that one is obviously not going to win. Just like nothing that we did, even if we all worked together, we would still have a hard time making that one win. So that is a bit unfortunate, but still, you know, it's going to happen in racing games. Any other cons? Oh, the pads. I think some people are going to complain about how you get pads instead of score sheets, but luckily Restoration Games listen to you, and they're going to have an iPad on their little app they have. They're going to have an iPad thing we'll be able to do. So hopefully that will be well done, but I personally don't think that's that big of a con because there's lots and lots of these, even though I do wish they were double-sided. That would be nice. Any other cons after the game? No. Moving on to the pros, I really enjoyed Downforce, and this one's going to go into my collection for a variety of different reasons. First, component-wise and artwork-wise, I really like the artworks. You know, the artwork on the speed cards is bland, and there's no artwork on it, but I really like the racetracks. They look nice. It's a double-sided board, which is great. The cars are really stinking cool. Graphic design-wise, everything is easy to figure out, which is always a good thing. Also, the rule booklet, big thumbs up on that rule booklet. Easy to understand. They got quite a few variants in there, which is nice as well. But the big reason why I'm going to keep this game and why I can recommend this game is that, yes, it's a great family game. Just flat out, this is a great family game. If you play games with your family, and I say they're 8, 9, 10 years old, I think you can easily teach this to them. It says ages 14 plus on here, but if you're playing with modified rules, I think you can easily play this with younger kids. But the thing that I really like about this game is that there's just enough meat on these bones to still play it as a light game night game, which I like. And my game group doesn't typically like games much lighter than this, so I felt like this really straddled that line very well. You know, there's just enough here with the special abilities and with the auctioning and with the betting to make it so that it's still a game night game, but this is definitely one that's going to go over really well with families, and it's going to be on my shelf for a good deal of time. I can't wait to play this with my kid when he gets older. My kids, oh yeah, I got 2 of them. My kids when he get older, but at the same time, I do feel like this is going to hit the table from time to time for game night, so what more could I possibly ask from for a game? So, in the end, Downforce from Restoration Games. Not particularly big fan of it at 2 players or some of the weird player counts where the vehicles won't be evenly distributed, but this game is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I like the betting aspect. I like the power cards, even though I wish there were more. And overall, definitely can recommend this one. A very nice first game. I believe this is the first game from Restoration Games, and I'm very excited to check out what they have in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know, how many woodchucks do you think you could beat in hand-to-hand combat? For me personally, I think I could take down 2. I think I could take down 2. But once you get to 3, I just feel like those woodchucks would just really start all going at you at one time. You'd lose blood too fast. Whereas think 2, you could get like a grip on one of them and then just kind of choke that one out while you're taking out the other woodchuck. But I think if you had 3, just game over, man. Game over. But let me know in the comments below, how many woodchucks do you think you could take on in hand-to-hand combat? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.